Not long ago, a special person in my life named Pam asked me to read over the obituary she had just written. I read it and I told her I thought it was beautiful and perfect. She texted back and said that one of her relatives thought it was too flowery and too long. I told her there are two mistakes we can make in life. The big mistake is playing life too small. The small mistake is playing life too big. Many times when we reflect on our lives, we see that we too often make that big mistake and we play our life too small. How many people never share their feelings and fully express how much someone means to them? How many people let fear control them and they stay with a steady paycheck instead of starting their own business that they would love? How many people give up before they realize their dream? On the other hand, the small mistake is playing life too big, taking the risk and coming up short, taking the risk again and again and again, playing big even when we fail. The obituary that I read was for Pam's 90-year-old mother who had played big 50 years ago. 50 years ago, Pam found out that she was pregnant when she was 18 years old. Upon hearing the news, Pam's father announced she'll go to New York for an abortion. Pam's mother replied, she's not going to New York. She'll go stay with Aunt Bonnie in Mississippi, have the baby, and put it up for adoption. And that's what happened. Pam shared this story for the first time 46 years later and pointed out something profound. That was the only time that she ever saw her mother stand up to her father. 4 years ago, I had the privilege of meeting Pam and her mother for the first time. At that time, her mother was 86 and she was in the early stages of dementia. I introduced myself to her simply as, "Hi, I'm Chuck." After a few minutes of pleasantry, there was a brief pause in our conversation and Pam looked intently into her mother's eyes and slowly asked, "Mother, do you remember when I went to stay with Aunt Bobby?" Her mother paused for a moment, returning Pam's intent look, and she replied, "Yes." "Mother, do you remember why I went to stay with Aunt Bonnie?" A longer pause, a more intent look into her daughter's eyes, and the understanding reply, "Yes, I remember." Pam then pointed at me and said, "Mother, this is the baby." I can't recall a sweeter, more beautiful smile than the one that I saw at that moment on my grandmother's face when she had the understanding and the complete joy glowing while she looked at me. We stared in each other's eyes for a few moments and we had a long embrace, and I was finally able to muster the words, "Thanks for making sure Pam went to stay with Aunt Bonnie." What a big mistake it would have been had I played small and not reached out to Pam. Truth be told, I did play small and I did nothing for almost 3 years after receiving her name and her contact information. I was afraid of what I might find, and honestly, if not for a dear friend pushing me, I may not have made that call. But maybe that's the way life works. We're given opportunities, and at the right time, the right people show up to help us along the way. And when we're present, when we listen to our inner voice and we confirm it with our intuition, then we can recognize our opportunities and we can choose to play big. Then our lives become more meaningful, magical, and magnificent.